Thinking about the jigsaw approach yesterday in sharing Singapore modeling, of course it becomes apparent that there are lots of ways to visually represent these problems. In fact, the blue problem, it was mentioned that Wayne was able to solve this in a very different way than the blue team had solved it. I'm going to show a way that is, I think, aligns well with the Singapore method, and we'll see what you think. So Julie buying 8 t-shirts is represented here with 8 rectangular boxes. Next, I'm going to draw a box that represents the amount of money that Julie has. Now we know that Julie is short $28 if she was to buy these 8 t-shirts. So one of the interesting things about the Singapore modeling approach is sometimes they will introduce boxes that American students wouldn't necessarily think to do. They would look for t-shirts and maybe represent those with boxes. They might represent hats with boxes. But they don't think of this outlying variable, this amount of money that she has. And so for Singapore math students, it's very frequently the case that they will create boxes sort of as conceptual placeholders. Because now we can see that if she had bought 4 t-shirts and then 3 hats, she'd still have $17 left of her money. Now because each hat costs $5, we know that this portion right here is worth 15. And that means that we have this great representation that we can examine, knowing that these 4 red boxes are a total of $60. So that means that each red box is $15, and that makes the 8 15s $120. And unfortunately, she doesn't have enough to spend $120. She's short 28 of those dollars, so that means that she really has a total of $92 to start this problem. Now, what's interesting here again is the fact that most American students would have some sort of representation for t-shirts and some sort of representation for hats, but this conceptual placeholder of the amount of money that Julie has in the beginning is quite frequently camouflaged in the minds of American students. However, it's not in Singapore math students, because as they're reading this, they're thinking conceptually of, all right, everything's relative to the amount of money that she has at the beginning. It's either $28 short or $17 overage. So creating this conceptual placeholder makes a lot of sense to Singapore math students. And I hope it makes sense to you, and let me know what you think.